I, 40M, am unable to forgive my wife, 39F. I can't stand being in the room with her. About a year ago I was out running errands. My wife was asleep, the kids were playing. It was a Sunday. She finally woke up at 11:30. She called and asked me where I was. I shared my location. I was in Home Depot or next door at the diner eating. I was 30 minutes away. She demanded I come home right that second. Basically upset she woke up and I wasn't home. I've been up since 6:30 doing errands, exercising, getting the kids settled. I left out at 10 a.m. I take care of the kids mainly because I have a flexible schedule. My wife works part-time. I make 2x more than her also. Well, I take an hour to get home. She starts yelling at me saying I'm worthless, and if don't want to be around the family, she going to take the kids and leave. Ever since then, me knowing how family courts are, I felt like I am living with an assassin. She has the target on me and is just waiting to pull the trigger. My wife, my friends, and parents all told me I need to get over it and I'm being sensitive. Obviously my wife was just upset and apologized. Even my therapist said she apologized. Why isn't that enough? Well, it's been a year, I'm still not over it. Everyone including my wife are acting like everything is great. We just took a week vacation in February as a family. I was there, but I feel like I can't even openly speak to my wife anymore because battle lines have been drawn. Am I the a-hole for holding my wife's statements a year later and unable to forgive her? I am acting like everything is fine. To avoid interacting with her, I took a second job in the evening after the kids get home from school and finish their homework. So she just thinks I'm busy not avoiding her. Edit. Our kids are elementary age. The kids basically have their own floor with a bedroom, bathroom, and playroom. My office is next to their bedroom. I have our house wired up with cameras everywhere but our bedroom. I have phone system in our house that our kids can direct dial us at any time with a push of a button. My wife has worked part-time since our kids were born. But I can control my hours and schedule. So that's why I provide the supermajority of the childcare. I always wake up early, usually 5:30 or 6. I go to bed about 11:30 or midnight. I have couple jobs and run a family business. I said I outturn 2x my wife, but that's just from my 9 to 5. All in it's more like 4:1 or 5:1. When our kids were way younger, I often took them with me to conduct business. I don't as much anymore, but they come with me to my second job most evenings. Last spring was when I started leaving them home to run around in the morning. Honestly, it was more fall 2022. My wife typically won't wake up unless she has to work. Getting up on a non-work day is between 10 a.m. to noon regardless of day of week. She goes to sleep between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. I wanted to talk to a lawyer and 2 business associates said they won't give me the name of a lawyer because I'm overreacting. I talked to a couple people older than me, both male and female, and they all keep telling me I need to move on and get over it. I have a whole deck of cards to play before I call a lawyer. My buddy who is 55 hung up on me when I asked him. He called me back a week later and said he would drive me to meet with a lawyer if I still wanted to. We live in a large metro, but a small affluent suburb. The type of place that everyone is very well connected. I took a vacation with my buddy last year and we ran into my neighbor in the airport. By the time I returned home a few days later, people at my kids' school knew I went out of town and knew my buddy's name. I normally walk the same route every day with our dog. I had a foot injury and couldn't walk for 2 weeks. I was in the local pharmacy and some random lady asked me if I was doing okay. She hadn't seen me walking and she knows what time to leave for work based on when I walk by the park near her house, LOL. She has threatened to leave me several times. We've been together almost 20 years. But I always felt she is just acting out or blowing smoke. She put our children in the mix with this threat. I can admit she hasn't made a threat like that since last year. I think she knows she overstepped big time. But I can't help but feel I'm going to get ambushed one day. Also, I went on a couple of websites of divorce lawyers in our state and they have calculators on them for alimony and child support. If she pulls the trigger on this, I'm losing big. We do have a post-nuptial agreement that a lawyer created. I even talked to a buddy about renting his a studio out of a building he is constructing. Maybe to just sleep somewhere else while I figure this all out. Everyone is telling me to either suck it up or pay up for my freedom. My therapist in August asked me point blank, do I still want to be married? I told him I don't know. But I have did some rough calculations on what that would cost. The number is so big, I don't even know if it's worth it. He told me he was in a similar position 15 to 20 years ago. He still got divorced. He still had to pay, it's just money. He said he waited until his youngest turned 18, but he started planning his exit about 8 years prior, which that's the only advice anyone is giving me. Just wait my wife out.